like science.
This room is full of about 200 inquisitive kids that wonder about a lot of stuff, like the secret lives of bacteria or how much DNA can fit into a cell. It seems science fairs are one of those school-aged rites of passage, like a spelling bee or being part of the intramural netball team.
Science is cool.
The recent School District 23 Science Fair included what could be some of our future doctors, researchers, and biologists, who showed off their hypotheses, strategies, and theories to some pretty impressed judges.
It's not only the opportunity for them to come and do science and participate in science, it's also, I think, so neat that they get to talk to judges and, they have to practice their presentation skills, and it's so much more than science.
You just started kind of judging the Crazy Crystal creation by Alyssa and Paige.
That is my first one, yes.
As a judge, Paula, what are you looking for?
Well, looking at the preparation and if the two participants are able to answer the question, comfortable, knowing the process.
My son made crystals a few years ago for his science project, and because it was sugar, I was able to eat it. Can I come back tomorrow and eat yours?
No, because it has borax in it, the borax solution.
Kids of all ages chose topics they were interested in and tested the boundaries of their knowledge. The fair helped them get past a place where science is only about memorizing clunky four-syllable words and step-by-step procedures. By getting right down to the nitty-gritty of experiments, they were able to get their hands dirty, be creative, and maybe even get some results they didn't expect.
Well, I'm testing different surfaces, such as this dry road, wet road, and icy roads. And on the icy roads, I was putting some traction enhancers, such as de-icers and sand.
I wonder if you'll be a driving instructor one day. Probably a rocket scientist.
I'm not too sure about that.
The science fair is a highlight for many of the district students. Many look to land a spot in this year's regional fair at UBC Okanagan, and then maybe on to the national fair in PEI to compete for almost $500,000 in prizes and scholarships.
We did elephant toothpaste. It's a mixture of hydrogen peroxide and yeast and dish soap and food coloring to make it look cooler.
And do you think that this kind of a science project is the one time you can perhaps make a mess and totally get away with it?
Yeah.
From Kelowna for Shaw, I'm Tammy Williams.